Representative Dush.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, speaking as somebody who spent about 16 years as a union member, I find it interesting that I'm being complimented on one hand in saying that I have the intelligence as a union member to get the contract and take a vote on it, and as on the other hand, as a taxpayer, to be insulted to say I don't have that intelligence to understand the complexities. That, I think, is insulting to the general public, and it should be insulting to the general public. We as union members got that contract. We were able to look at it and and decide whether or not the people that we hired, our union representatives, had done a good job. As taxpayers, we hire the representatives, the governor, and the people who are negotiating that contract as our representatives on the taxpayer side. We should be, as taxpayers, no less capable of reviewing that work and having a say in it than the union members. Secondly, the comment about whether one stakeholder has more than another. The worker is getting who has a raise, is getting a raise or not getting a raise, having a more important stake in this whole thing. I got to tell you, the taxpayers have a huge stake in this. And whether or not they get a raise or not, I'm telling you right now, every year these guys get a raise. I got a raise. Anytime you got a paycheck increase, an increase in the amount of money you were bringing home, that's a raise to anybody else. Yet a step increase is not a raise in the eyes of the unions. That is a raise. When you are getting more money in your pocketbook at the expense of your employer, that's a pay raise. There is no other term for it, and yet that is something that is annually, contractually put into the union contracts. But it is never a part of the negotiation process. It is never a part of the real numbers that the employers, the taxpayers of this state, have to deal with. And the fact that once that number is out there and this IFO number and those numbers are generated and put out there for the taxpayer to review, then the taxpayer has a chance to talk to the people who they've hired to represent them and say, this is not a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.